There's a hunger that's inside me. See the full moon as it guides me. There's a hunger that's inside me. There's a hunger that's inside me.
What up, what it do? It's your boy Ganja Juan back with another review. And thanks again for tuning in to Blazing with Ganja, where we always blazing something amazing. And this past weekend we had D23 Expo. D23 Expo is basically like a presentation that Disney holds almost every year to showcase the new things they coming out. It could be like amusement park attractions, even amusement parks that they're bringing out, or on the media side, movies that they got coming out over the next few years, or TV shows that they got coming out. It could be a plethora of things. What we're gonna do today is, it's not necessarily really a review. We're just gonna talk about a few of the things I wanna talk about that I pulled from what they showed at D23. So the first thing we got up, Incredibles 3. It's funny that they made that announcement. They got a whole bunch of other movies that they could have announced with Pixar, but Pixar is choosing to do Incredibles 3, so we're gonna ride with that. Now, I'm not necessarily an Incredibles fan, but Incredibles 1 was cool. I didn't do backflips over it like everybody else did, but I went to see it. I thought it was awesome. The funny thing is, when Incredibles 2 finally came out years later and everybody hated it, I actually liked Incredibles 2 a lot more than I liked Incredibles 1. I just had a better time with it. Plus, I like things like Edna and Jack Jack. Their little interactions are fun. We got Brad Bird coming back to direct. Brad Bird is cool. I really like his style, even when he jumped over to live action and did Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol as his first live action movie. For a first live action movie, that is a great debut. And the funny thing is, right now as it stands, until we get the new Fantastic Four movie, The Incredibles 1 and 2 are the best Fantastic Four movie that we have. And within The Incredibles, they were able to get the family dynamic right and the tone of the Fantastic Four world. They hit it perfectly. Okay, next we got Toy Story 4. No. Toy Story 5. Toy Story 4 was the one that sucked. I'm sorry it did, you know what I'm saying? I was a huge fan of Toy Story 1 through 3. 3 made me cry like a baby. That scene at the end when he's giving the toys away to Bonnie for the first time, and I was in the theater sobbing like a baby. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Toy Story 5, hopefully this will be good, especially after Toy Story 4 is sucking so bad. I really did not have a good time with that movie at all. But from what it looks like, from the pictures they've shown, it looks like the story's gonna be Bonnie has fallen to the dark side. This little girl has become an iPad girl. You know what I'm saying? She's under that little blanket in the picture, looking at her iPad. The toys are looking over like, oh man, she doesn't want to play with us anymore. And that's what I see happening to a lot of kids these days. They're becoming zombies, looking at the iPad, watching Baby Shark, watching, I don't know what else they watch. What, Bluey? But isn't Bluey a show? I have no idea. That little kid, Ryan, that he played with the toys and whatnot, I don't know. All right, so they showed the live action Stitch, the design for Stitch, which actually looks better, a lot better to me than the Sonic design. Even though the Sonic design does look good, trust me, we could have got the other design, but we ain't even gonna bring that up. But no, the live action Stitch design looks really good. Plus, Lilo and Stitch was an awesome movie that I always thought could be translated very well to live action. And trust me, I'm a late Lilo and Stitch watcher. I didn't watch that movie till about a year and a half ago for the first time, but I thought it was really cool. And like I said, I think it'll be a really good live action movie. Plus, it was supposed to be a movie that went straight to Disney Plus, but it decided to bump it straight up to theaters, so it must be good. All right, we got Mufasa coming out. Mufasa is gonna be the prequel to Lion King, the live action CGI hybrid that came out a few years ago, which everybody seemed to hate for some reason. Disney literally said, we're going to make the Lion King in a live action CGI hybrid with live looking lions. and everybody seemed to hate it. Like it was a different movie or something different than what they said they were gonna do. It was the exact same movie with live action looking lions. What was there to hate? I loved it. But I'm not gonna lie to you, what I honestly wish they would do is The Lion King 2. Because The Lion King 2 to me is one of those rare, straight to VHS at the time sequels that was good. Just like Return of Jafar. You know what I'm saying? I got Return of Jafar fans out there and Lion King 2 fans out there. Hit me in the comments, let me know. All right, they actually even showed a trailer for Moana 2. Moana was another one I was late to watching, but it had really good songs. Plus, I liked The Rock. It was a fun movie. I liked it. I know a lot of girlfriends like Moana. My girlfriend likes Moana. Should be something cool to go see. They actually showed a trailer for Mando and Grogu. I don't know how many of y'all out there watch Mandalorian, but Mandalorian was awesome. Seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 wasn't as strong as seasons 1 and 2, but it was still alright. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't as bad as people make it out to be, but I can see the fall off with season 3. Do not get me wrong. But the Mando and Grogu movie is supposed to be a culmination of a couple of threads from the TV shows, things like from Ahsoka and everything like that. So hopefully I'll get to see Ezra again. Plus, I know a lot of people out there love Grogu or Baby Yoda, which a lot of people like to call him. It should be fun. I like Mando. It's like a Western in space. They had a presentation for Avatar 3, which actually has a new name, Avatar Fire and Ash. Avatar should be dope. I'm a huge Avatar fan. I've loved Avatar since part 1. I went and saw it like 4 times in the theaters. I really like part 2. I even like part 2 a little bit better than part 1. Biggest gripe with Avatar, a lot of people say is, even the reviewers, they say the story wasn't that strong for 1 and 2, but that's not a big gripe to me. The story is just something to string along the spectacle that we're watching, and with something with spectacle as grand as like Avatar 1 and 2, it's hard not to be amazed. Hopefully with Avatar 3, Fire and Ash, the story will be a little bit stronger. We're supposed to meet the fire people, so you see what he's doing. On part 1, we had the air people flying around on the birds. Part 2, was a water story. We got fire people on part 3. Hopefully on part 4, Captain Planet will come. It'll be awesome. And then we had Tron Ares, which featured a big announcement with Tron Ares, because I was worried about Tron Ares, especially with on Tron Legacy Part 2, Daft Punk did the score, and Daft Punk has now broke up. So as soon as Daft Punk broke up, I asked myself, who's gonna do the score for Tron 3? Because Tron 3 has been supposed to be off the ground since Tron Legacy came out, but they delayed it and all that kind of stuff. You know how that goes. So with Tron Ares, they announced 9 Inch Nails will be doing the score, and I couldn't be any happier, because like if Daft Punk isn't there, 9 Inch Nails is a great replacement, especially with people like Trent Reznor. Trent Reznor has already done a few scores. You should hear what he's done on the Raid score. That shit was dope. So that's all the regular stuff. That's all the Disney stuff. We're gonna now jump over to Marvel, and you know Kevin Feige had to come out there with his hat. Kevin Feige actually looks like a ginger John Travolta to me. I don't know about y'all, but to me. All right, the first movie they talked about was The Fantastic Four: First Steps, which is actually a new name. They added the First Steps parts, but which people seem to hate. But when you ask me, it actually kind of rolls off the tongue. The Fantastic Four: First Steps, and then even invokes like thoughts of like, you know, the Fantastic Four, they're like an exploratory team. So like the first steps on like the moon, or like the first steps into another dimension, especially like the multiverse going on. And then it's supposed to even take place in the 60s, which they've always alluded to. Doctor Strange said something about it on Multiverse of Madness. Plus that was always the rumor, it was going to take place in the 60s. The thing is though, it's taking place in another universe in the 60s. And it's supposed to have an aesthetic of like Tomorrowland or like the Jetsons. It's going to be like a retro 60s, 50s kind of era. And they actually show a picture of Johnny Storm in the suit. The suit looks kind of dope. I don't know if they're going to go with these suits for the entire movie, if this is an early suit just for him. But the aesthetic I get from the suit, it reminds me of the early Human Torch, which is actually from the 50s or the 60s. There was a first Human Torch before Johnny Storm Human Torch. He was actually an android, and he was on a team called the Invaders with Captain America in the comics first, and they used to roll around, you know what I'm saying, as a little team with Namor actually as well. Plus they had the set photo of all of them together, and I was even a little worried about Pedro Pascal and how he was going to look. That was my biggest concern, because especially when they announced him, I was concerned just like everybody else. I can't lie. I just wanted him to at least look like Reed Richards a little bit, but this photo gives me relief. Only I like the mustache, I like the gray. He looks nerdy, but at the same time, there's a bravado there. So like he looks like a leading man. And that's all I asked for. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully this should be dope. I can't wait to see what they do with this. Then they jumped over to Daredevil Born Again, and it's actually dope because Daredevil being inducted into the MCU, I think it's dope that he still has his Netflix roots, especially with him starting on Netflix and us being able to drag him over and him now be in the MCU. Hopefully this will be dope. We gotta see, especially like I said, with him coming to the MCU, we don't know exactly what the MCU is gonna do with this, but they got a lot of people returning. We got Foggy returning, we got Karen returning, we got Kingpin, constipated ass sounding returning. We got a new character, we got White Tiger. White Tiger's from the comics. White Tiger is dope, just a martial artist. You know what I'm saying? You know, Daredevil with his martial art ass, they're gonna be flipping all over the place. And then we got John Barenthesi, and that's my boy. Don Barenthesi as the Punisher. He just shuts it down ever since he came on Daredevil season 2. And I was actually a little concerned about John Barenthal at first because he didn't invoke Punisher to me at first. But now he has come in and owned that role, especially when he started to go, you know what's about to go down. Actually, at first I thought it should have been great Frank Grillo. Frank Grillo's performance on The Purge Anarchy gives Punisher all day. But once, like I said, once John Barenthesi, I know his name is Barenthal, but he's so hard, we're gonna call him John Barenthesi. Once John Barenthesi came in through, he's the Punisher. And ain't nothing else to say about that. Then we got a trailer for Agatha All Along. I like Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn's funny. She's funny in anything she does. She's just one of those kind of people, you know what I'm saying? She can say the sky is blue and that shit is fucking funny. I can't wait to see what they do with this show, because I actually like when the MCU gets a little weird. I like the supernatural side. I can't wait to see what they do with that. I like when the monsters start coming in. I like when they start playing with the spells, especially like Doctor Strange and everything like that. I can't wait to see what they do with that, especially with characters. It looks like Wiccan is going to be up there, and Wiccan is one of my, you can say, favorite characters. Wiccan is the Scarlet Witch's son, Billy, and he's grown up a little bit now, so let's see what they do with that. Plus, he could be Sorcerer Supreme. Keep your eye on him. Trust me, let's see what they do with him in the future. Then they brought on Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler, of course, was the director of Creed Part 1. All of that was his idea. He came in and killed that, then jumped over into the MCU, came in and did Black Panther, and then he jumped over and did Wakanda Forever. So they brought him on to introduce a show they're gonna do called Eyes of Wakanda, which is supposed to be about, it's gonna be an animated show. It's supposed to be about the generations of Black Panthers. So I'm guessing it's supposed to be a 4-episode show. So I'm guessing on each episode, they're gonna have a different generation or a different Black Panther throughout history to show you, like I said, the history of everything that went down with Wakanda and how Wakanda formed. I'm guessing they're gonna show how the vibranium first hit from the meteor and everything like that. Should be nice. I'm kind of interested. Then they kept Ryan Coogler on to introduce a character I've been waiting for since she debuted in the comics, because I love this character, and her name is Riri Williams, the Ironheart. She's getting her own show on Disney Plus, and it's gonna be a show about science versus magic. For some reason, everybody hates on Riri, but I like Riri. Why not? She's a little black girl, a young black girl from Chicago, who is almost basically as smart as Tony Stark. She builds her own armor, you know what I'm saying, her own designs, and comes in and fucking wrecks shit. What's there not to like? So, like I said, science versus magic. You're bringing in Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto, who's basically like the devil of the MCU. So let's see where they go with that. Plus, that might actually lead into some things that they're gonna do with Doctor Doom. So that could be set up right there. We're gonna talk about Doctor Doom in this video. That could be a whole nother video in itself. To end this, they ended with the best thing. Captain America, Brave New World. And y'all know how I feel about this. Y'all know they had a little presentation at Comic-Con, like I said, a few weeks ago, but they came in with some new Brave New World stuff, just a few new things. They had a new picture of the Red Hulk, a new glimpse of him. I think they even showed a little bit of footage, but we got Harrison Ford hulking out. He had a podium, whatnot, in front of people. That shit should be crazy. And then on the last video, I can't believe I didn't talk about Giancarlo Esposito. This man, he just steps on the scene and drips swagger with anything he does. It's ridiculous. That man could charm the pants off your grandma, trust me. Let's see what he does. He's supposed to be a villain named Sidewinder, who's the head of the Serpent Society. Every time you see him, he jumping out of different helicopter and shit, loading up M16s, firing off on niggas thinking he goddamn Rambo. So let's see what they do with him. And then he wasn't even supposed to be part of the movie. They came in and did reshoots with him, adding him to the movie, and it looks like he's even playing a bigger part than he was supposed to play originally. So let's see what they do with that. Hopefully that should be good. And last time I didn't talk about Tim Blake Nelson. Tim Blake Nelson is actually playing the leader. He was actually on the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton back in the day. He was the one who was doing the experiments on Bruce, and he actually got hurt when he fell over. Bruce's blood sample got into his brain, and in the comics, he gets a huge brain and he gets super smart. He was already smart, but he gets super smart, amplified by the Bruce's blood and everything like that. He turns green. I don't know if he'll be green on this movie, but it looks like there's a shot on that trailer from behind and he has green hair. And trust me, something green is always associated with Hulk people in the comics. These people had green toenails, trust me. But yeah, that's all we're gonna talk about on this video. The D23 expo, those are the things I liked, and those are the things that I would like to see. Hey, let me know what y'all would love to see out there in the comments. Maybe we'll talk about it on the next video, but I still gotta do that Deadpool and Wolverine review. It's gonna be a spoiler review because it's been out for weeks by now. We're gonna go ahead and spoil that whole thing up, rip it up from top to bottom and talk about it. I can't wait to see y'all again. Join me. Please like and subscribe.